You don't walk into the store planning to waste money. You walk in thinking you're being reasonable. Your phone still works. It calls, it texts, it does its job. But the battery drains faster than it used to. There's a small crack on the screen. Nothing urgent, just annoying enough to plant an idea. You tell yourself, I use this for work. This is an investment. So you upgrade. You spend over $1,000 on a brand new flagship phone. It's thinner, faster, cleaner. You walk out feeling accomplished, like you've leveled up in life. Then you sit in your car and look at it. The phone is beautiful, precision engineered, premium, and suddenly the old charging cable in your cup holder looks embarrassing. It feels disrespectful to plug a masterpiece into a cheap, tangled wire. So you replace the cable. Then the case, then the headphones that no longer fit. 2 days later, your one purchase has quietly turned into 4, and your wallet never got a vote. This isn't you being irresponsible. This is psychology doing exactly what it was designed to do. And it has quietly ruined more people than bad investments ever have. This pattern explains why lottery winners go broke, why dream homes become financial traps, why raises don't make people richer. It's called the Diderot effect, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Most people think they buy things because they want them. In reality, they buy things because their other possessions start demanding upgrades. Today, we're unpacking the invisible force that keeps people stuck in a spending loop, and the strange story of a philosopher who lost everything because of a robe. To understand this, we need to go back to 18th century France. Denis Diderot was one of the greatest thinkers of his time, a philosopher, a writer, a co-founder of the Encyclopedia. His ideas shaped Europe, but financially, he was barely surviving. Diderot lived simply. Old clothes, worn furniture, a modest workspace. Nothing matched, but nothing needed to. He was content. Then fate intervened. Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia, admired his work. When she learned he was struggling, she made him an extraordinary offer. She bought his entire book collection for a fortune, while letting him keep every book. Overnight, Diderot became wealthy. So he did what most people would do. He bought himself something nice, a luxurious scarlet dressing gown, rich fabric, perfect stitching, something that signaled success. At first, it felt amazing, but then he sat down to write and noticed his desk. The desk looked awful next to the robe, scratched, stained, old, so he replaced it. Now the desk looked wrong next to the rug, so he replaced the rug. Then the curtains looked cheap. Then the chair felt unworthy. Then the walls needed art. Piece by piece, Diderot replaced his entire environment, not because it was broken, but because it no longer matched. By the time the room was perfect, the money was gone. Later, Diderot wrote an essay titled "Regrets on Parting with My Old Dressing Gown." In it, he confessed something chilling. I was the master of my old robe. I became a servant to the new one. That is the Diderot effect. A single new possession can trigger a cascade of unnecessary upgrades, all in the name of consistency. We think we own our stuff, but very often our stuff owns us. You might think this is just a historical curiosity. It isn't. In fact, it's more dangerous today than ever because modern marketing is built to exploit it. Let's look at a modern example. You decide to get fit. You buy a high-end exercise bike. You tell yourself it's about health, discipline, self-improvement. But when it arrives, your old gym clothes suddenly feel wrong. They don't match the identity on the screen. So you upgrade the shoes, then the outfit, then the accessories. Then you realize the bike looks out of place in your cluttered room, so you redesign the space. At some point, you're no longer buying fitness equipment. You're buying a new version of yourself. This is the core of the Diderot effect, identity pressure. Humans crave coherence. We want our surroundings to reflect who we believe we are. Buy something that signals status, and it quietly rewrites your identity. A modest car supports a modest lifestyle. A luxury car demands a luxury one. The car becomes the anchor, and everything else is judged against it. Your clothes, your furniture, your vacations, your habits. You're not spending money for pleasure, you're spending it to reduce psychological discomfort. That's why fake it till you make it is financially dangerous. If you buy the symbol before earning the lifestyle, the symbol will bankrupt you trying to catch up. Most people make a critical mistake when buying things. They only look at the price tag. That's the wrong number. What matters is the chain reaction cost. Take a home renovation. You plan to replace the cabinets. The budget seems reasonable. But once they're installed, the old appliances look unacceptable. Then the floor looks outdated. Then the living room looks wrong by comparison. The renovation spreads. The final bill is triple what you expected, not because you're careless, but because upgrades create dissatisfaction with everything that stays the same. You were fine before. The upgrade taught you to be unhappy. This leads to a disturbing realization. Many upgrades are actually downgrades. When something is expensive, you stop using it freely. You protect it. You worry about it. You serve it. A cheap couch invites life. A luxury couch turns your home into a showroom. You don't live with your possessions, you maintain them. So how do you escape this? You don't have to reject comfort or live like a monk, but you do need defenses. Here are 3 that actually work. First, predict the chain. Before buying anything premium, ask, what else will this force me to upgrade? Calculate the full ecosystem cost, not the sticker price. If you can't afford the system, you can't afford the item. Second, limit accumulation. For every upgrade, something must leave. New shoes, old pair goes. New gadget, old one disappears. This keeps you a user, not a curator. Third, lower your anchors. Keep your most visible status symbols modest. When your baseline is humble, everything else feels sufficient. A low-maintenance identity is freedom. It lets you save aggressively while others stay trapped upgrading their lives into debt. There's nothing wrong with nice things. The problem is not understanding the game. Consumer culture promises fulfillment through acquisition, but history proved that lie centuries ago. One purchase doesn't complete your life. It resets the board. So don't become a servant to the robe. Be the one wearing it. If this video stopped you from making an unnecessary purchase this week, hit like, subscribe for more financial clarity, and remember, don't buy the robe.